Welcome to the video of the second night spent herping in the Brigalow region of southern Queensland and the more successful night I had. Just getting ready to head back out again now, and I'm going a little bit earlier tonight. I'm going about 45 minutes to an hour before sunset, and that's because I've had a bit of advice that because of the cooler temperatures at the moment, someone missed a blue-bellied black snake at about 6:45 just before dark. So just on the off chance there's a bit more movement before that temperature's dropped away quite as much when the light goes, we're going to give it a go slightly earlier tonight. Just before it does go dark, I'll just give you an idea of the habitat I'm cruising. It's pretty open compared to most of the habitats I've been in, apart from when I went over to the black soil plains. But yeah, it looks fantastic for, well, there is a good diversity of snake species, that's why I'm here. And that's the kind of stuff I'm cruising through. Really nice dark tarmac, holds a lot of heat. Yeah, that's really warm. Oh, it's last time I was feeling heat like that off a road, I was cruising in Arizona, which was a long time ago. So yeah, I'm really feeling this. I just pulled over to clean the windscreen because it was absolutely filthy. The front of the car is horrific at the moment, and it's really looking like it could be quite a good night. There's a lot of heat in that road, and it's a really good time. You're always dead excited for what you're going to find in the night that lays ahead of you. I actually never find anything at this time of night. I've found very little in the evenings this time of year, but it is my first time out there. I'm not sure what activity patterns to chase and stuff like that, but for me this is an exciting time because I'm excited about what the night's going to provide. Let's see as it goes dark if we can start getting into some. As the evening drew in, I found a small eastern brown snake on the road. However, due to the speed of these snakes and the potency of their venom, I wasn't able to get the best footage, but enough to show it. Might not get the best footage of this, guys, but we've got the juvenile eastern brown Pseudonea textilis, which is pretty much the target that we headed out early for. So that's a good success. Again, this snake would never have stayed still long enough to get off shots with a proper camera, but here's a few phone pictures to show it better as the footage was not that great. Just jumped out of the car to check a gecko there, because there is one of the spiny-tailed geckos I'd like to see. And I just thought I'd say I'm sorry that the footage of that eastern brown was not good, but I have seen probably 7 or 8 of them, and that's the first one. I'll just step away from the car. That's the first one that I've managed to photograph in any way. Not very well, not with a proper camera, but those things are rapid. They're extremely venomous, second most venomous snake in Australia and I believe in the world. They're very diurnal, and so they're active through the day where they're just rapid. They're really fast snakes. The only way realistically I was going to get one was evening time on the road, which is exactly why we went out early, to maybe find a blue-bellied black or an eastern brown or something like that. So we did succeed, but I'm sorry the footage wasn't the best, but at least I got something, because that's more than I've been getting from most of them. Well, we've got another Pygopus species on the road, another scaly-foot, but this one is not the same. This isn't the Brigalow scaly-foot. This one is the eastern scaly-foot, Pygopus shredderi. So that's nice, it's a new species. I'm just going to quickly get this one off the road, and I'll do a few shots so I'll be able to show you in a bit more of a natural setting. Hopefully that shows this one a bit better. Very cool to see I keep saying pseudopus, Pygopus species. Pretty individual, pretty unique, sorry. Sort of legless geckos you can think of them as. They're a sister group to geckos. And they're pretty cool things to see on the road. You do think snake, but to be honest, I'm not even disappointed when I see these. You can kind of tell, I'm learning they kind of sit flat and lift the head in a different way to snakes, so you can discern them on the road now. Let's keep cruising. These scaly-foots are active at night in these temperatures and are a common sight on these roads. The species has been said to mimic venomous snakes by raising their heads and tongue flicking just like elapids do. This species is oviparous, laying a clutch of 2 eggs once a year. After finding that, I carried on cruising the roads, and it wasn't long before I came across one of the snakes I really wanted to see out here. Look at this, guys, we've got a mulga. I really wanted to see one of these snakes from here because they look so different and so striking compared to the ones I saw around Townsville. Look at the coppery dark brown markings on this one compared to the really pale creamy, almost brown that the last one was. I'm really stoked to find this. This is Pseudechis australis, so it's a member of the black snake genus, not technically a brown snake, but it's called the king brown because it is physically, morphologically a brown snake. It actually throws a hood better than Pseudonia, the true browns, even though they are called Pseudonia because pseudo being false and nia being cobra with the hood. But these actually hook quite well, although this one is being pretty well behaved, I have to say. It's a really pleasant snake and I'm really glad to find this. This is a highlight for me. Awesome snake. They don't have quite as potent venom as the true Pseudonia, but the yield is higher. And I've actually seen videos of these being milked, and it is quite a substantial yield of venom. I'm going to try and get some pictures of this one, so hopefully I'll show you in a bit more of a natural background. There we go guys, look at that. I couldn't ask for much better encounter with a much better snake. That's why we go herping. Look at that beautiful king brown snake, really dark coppery looking one from the Brigalow area that I'm in. He's been pretty defensive, but understandably so, and he really hasn't been that bad considering I've taken some photographs. He was right in the middle of the road. I straddled over the top of him, instantly knew what it was. There's not really any mistake in this thing. I'm over the moon to find this. I've waffled on probably enough about it, but if you're anything like me, you won't be able to get enough of seeing that thing. That is so much nicer. I had heard the ones around here were nice, but that's so much nicer than the ones I've seen around Townsville. Hopefully that's not blowing them out too much in the light. Well, like I always say, when you've got a snake as special as this on the cards, it's very easy to take a long time with them. But I've got some shots that I think are okay. I'm going to leave it be now. It's off the side of the road it was going to, and we'll carry on the road cruise. It's not as productive tonight, but it's quality over quantity, that's for sure. What an amazing snake. These are the best shots I managed of this mulga, and I much prefer them to pictures I have of this species from other localities. Mulgas are not a rare snake in this region and definitely prove far more abundant this trip than the spotted black, the other black snake species I was searching for. However, despite their abundance, I was still really pleased I got to encounter such a pristine individual. After watching this snake cruise off, the luck continued, with us once again coming across a target species for the area. Look at this guys, gecko target species achieved. I really wanted to see one of these. Look at that, that's the golden spiny-tailed gecko. There's two Strophuris you can find here. One is the eastern spiny-tailed gecko, which I found, and the other was this one, which I was really hoping to see. So I've been stopping for geckos. Most of them have been dubious to teller, and now we've got the target species, so I'm going to grab some shots of this one and keep going. Really beautiful gecko, that one, guys. That was the one I most wanted to see. I really liked seeing that thick-tailed gecko last night, but this one that's a beautiful gecko. And these have that defensive mechanism that they're famous for. I didn't actually mention, of shooting ropes, sticky ropes of sort of goo, of secretion out of the glands on their tail. And as a result of that, they're less keen to autotomize and drop the tail, because it does play that more significant part in their defense. So really interesting little geckos, these. Let's pop this one back and keep cruising. This species is always a good gecko, but after seeing many people's pictures of them, I do think this was a particularly nice one, with a really bright red eye and a contrasting yellow or golden tail. They are a variable species, but this one is definitely the nicest one I encountered, and I was grateful to be able to take these shots. Spot another snake out the car window, and it's the old familiar brown tree snake, Mulga irregularis. So, probably shown 100 of these before on the channel, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on this one. But it is another snake for the night. I haven't really been filming them, but these Australian green tree frogs are everywhere. That's not a very good view of this one, but they're all over the road. It's a bit of a slalom course to not hit them, but they're pretty cool frogs to see, being bright green. They're way brighter than the ones I saw up north, but I'm pretty sure it's still the Australian green tree frog. Well, I thought this one was a stick, but something made me go back. I just knew it wasn't quite right, and that is the tiniest little juvenile curl snake you're ever likely to see. That is minute. Little Burton's legless lizard. Fairly common reptile, but not one I've seen here before. So we'll get this one off the road, give it a few more hours, and if it keeps going at this rate, then I'm not going to push into the small hours. We'll call it a day relatively early. Another Burton's just on the way home. More of a brightly coloured one, this one. They're quite a variable species. Talked about these loads in other videos and we've seen quite a lot of them, so not going to spend too much time with this one, but it's nice to see a more contrasting individual. Just as I was continuing the final pass of the road, I actually got yet another mulga or king brown snake, which was even bigger than the first. Now, I was pretty tired at this point, so I didn't really talk about this one, but luckily I did think to get some footage that I can just cover with this voiceover. It means I can show you another one of these impressive elapids. After getting the snake moved off the road, I just let it cruise off, and so the pictures aren't as good as I got of the first snake, but I've still included them here to show you. This one, being a bit bigger and older, wasn't in quite as good condition and had a few scars and marks along its body, but still an awesome snake. I thought it would be the last snake, but as I headed back to camp there was one more reptile on the road. Is this Suter dwyeri. The common name is the variable black-naped snake. You can see the black head on the snake there. It's a snake I photographed a lot last trip. They were the most common snakes on the road last time, so we're not going to take too long with this one. I'll pop a picture in to show them a little clearer because this one's on the move. But yeah, closely related to the curl snake, same genus. Spend their time terrestrially actively hunting through leaf litter and stuff, looking for small skinks, geckos, things like that to eat. But we're just going to usher this one off the road and carry on cruising. That was the last find before I finally pitched a tent to get some sleep. I hope some of you enjoyed this video. This was a particularly good one from my point of view, as I was really pleased with the mulgas and spiny-tailed geckos. So thanks very much if you've watched this far, and I'll see you in the next one.